Back everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to the grand finals of grand finales here of the WardiTV Monday number 80. We've had a pretty intense semi-finals, and we've had two Protoss players rise up, which is mostly what we expect when it comes to these events. That is Classic and herO. We have our top two Protoss players in the world, Classic versus herO, in a PvP best of 5. Let's go. We're jumping on in. Game 1 is going to be on Tourmaline. Let's go. We've been casting a lot of Tourmaline tonight, in almost every series actually, so very small map, short rush distance by ground. Let's go. Let us go. Sometime in 30XX. True. Feels bad, man. But yes, May the 4th. I didn't even notice. It's almost over here. But let's go. Let's jump on in. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let's go. It was only recently, actually, related to Star Wars, that I finally got around to watching The Mandalorian, like a couple of weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. It's one of those things that, like, there's just so much like Star Wars show content, and then so much of it is quite bad that it's something that I put off. But I enjoyed it. Season one was very good. It was, yeah. Which is nice, because there just hasn't really been good Star Wars in a long time. It's and I guess, I mean, to be fair, Mandalorian season 1 is from quite some time ago at this point. But yeah, it was a breath of fresh air for sure. We're gonna talk about season 2. That was rough. So we lost faith once again. No. For now, we're going to be settling in, and welcome to our PvP. Welcome to StarCraft. The other one. For now, 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of Classic. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of herO. herO does set up further back, so it does take a little bit more to scouts, but he does go for the same build overall, just leaving the ramp open. Love the Mandalorian. Yeah, again, big fan of season 1. Not so much season 2. I would say, at least in my opinion, season 2 was below average. It was, yeah. That was rough. Recent start of season 3 though, and season 3 is definitely a step in a better direction. But regardless, we're getting into our PvP. For now, we're just setting up. So far, standard openers, nothing really to write home to. Here we're opening up Double Stalker into our eventual expansion on the low ground, into our setup. Yeah, it's true. We did learn that StarCraft was supposed to be Star Wars originally. Yep, that is true. We did learn that. If you didn't tune into the podcast a couple of months ago, for those who don't know, StarCraft was originally going to be a Star Wars RTS. Originally, Blizzard, they were licensed by Lucasfilm, or LucasArts, I should say. And this was originally meant to be a Star Wars RTS. And then LucasArts, they pulled the plug. They pulled out of their agreements. And oh god, as we do get caught out here, better trade by Classic. Still going to be a 1-to-1 trade, but does overall trade better than herO and almost takes out another Stalker. Almost. But LucasArts, they ended up terminating any projects that they had with game developers after a failed game that they had. So they kind of cut ties with Blizzard. And then Blizzard, after that occurred, they already had all these like sci-fi assets built, and they're like, I mean, we're this far in, we still want to make a sci-fi game. Like, we still want to make like a sci-fi RTS. Like, we already worked on the Star Wars one this far, and then they kind of like turned it into, and then they made their own, they decided to make their own IP. That's when they made StarCraft. Obviously inspired by Warhammer, obviously, but originally it wasn't meant to be a Star Wars game, for those who are unaware. So, nice little fun fact. There's another universe out there where LucasArts didn't cut ties with Blizzard, and this would have been a Star Wars RTS, which would be crazy. It'd be crazy. Didn't know that. Yeah. It was revealed recently by I think it was during Geekenders. It was like Jesse Cox and Dodger. They had an interview with with an ex Blizzard developer. But they explained that the reason why LucasArts, why they pulled out, is because there was another like separate Star Wars PC game that was released, and it like performed really, really badly, like very, very badly. And when that happened, LucasArts, they got scared, and they were like, "Oh, like, we're just pulling out of like all like video games. We're like, well, we're just gonna step out of this, and we're gonna like be a little bit more careful with it, with their IP." This was again like back in the 90s. So they reconsidered their partnership with Blizzard. But there you go. From here, we're both settling into the mid game. We're settling in, we're taking our 2-base saturation, the hero is going to be deflected, and so far we've had a very tame PvP. Leaving us time to talk about something else. But I'm a little bit surprised. I should mention that typically PvP between Hero and Classic is very high octane and very aggressive, insanely aggressive. But here, just 2 gate openers into our 3rd bases, a little bit of trades here and there, nothing crazy, and we're backing off and saturating. Now from here, we're building up. We do have the early Robo, so we have early Immortal production out of Hero. So here, he's building up a more robust army into a delayed Twilight Council. Meanwhile, Classic, he's going for extra gateways, extra warp-ins into extra aggression early on into earlier blink. So Classic has momentum, Classic has map control, and Classic is going to be the aggressing player here by proxying across the map. 2-base all in. 2-base all in at a Classic, he sends it. Hero, he does already have a defensive setup here with these Immortals, and if Hero can survive this initial onslaught, Hero will outscale Classic. So Hero is the defender, Classic is the aggressor. Let's go. Here we go. Oh, as we do bait. Oh, we bait the blink. Ah, no punish though. Yeah, no punish there out of Hero. Classic moves in, does lock down 2 Stalkers, gets 1, gets 2. Ooh, nice catch. Very nice catch out of Classic. Ooh. Catch yet another. Catching out 3 Stalkers. Again, ideally, Classic, he wants those Immortals. Prism has arrived. Hero, he can now counter micro. He can now lift. He can lift, he can juggle. Classic expands behind this, claiming his 3rd. This shows us that Classic, he sees this army and he doesn't believe he can break it. Sees the heavy Immortal counts. And Classic, he backs off, takes a 3rd base, takes up into charge. So Classic is building up in towards the mid game. Hero not too far behind with his own 3rd base timing though. Okay. Breaks out, claims his 3rd. Good positioning here by Hero to be able to break out. And now we're embracing the mid game. Now, my concern here is that I do favor Hero in a head-on fight with the added extra Immortals. Blink is now done. Charge is only halfway complete. There's a window in time here where Classic is vulnerable. He has pure Stalker against Stalker Immortal. And here comes Hero. Yeah, we spoke about this, where Classic was all in and he had to get some damage done, otherwise he'd be outscaled, and now he's being outscaled. Oh. Does wing forward. He dives in. Nice snipe. Very nice snipe. He does get one of the Prism. He does get the Immortal as well. Massive pickups. He gets 1. He gets 2. He's going to get all 3. He does snipe all 3 Immortals, but in the process, did bleed out a lot of Stalkers. Hero, he's ahead in Stalkers. Just barely. But he cannot break through. Yeah, he cannot break through here. Again, Hero caught out of position. If it wasn't for that dive, then Hero would have been able to reinforce the Immortals. It would have been behind the Stalkers instead, but Hero was exposed. Here he was exposed. The pants were down. Classic makes up for his deficit. Now suddenly Classic takes the lead. Classic has charge. Yeah, charge, let's say, are ideal here when it comes to tanking. They bait out shots. Do tank well. Ooh, blinks into more reinforcements. Once again, the Prism goes down for the 2nd time, but he gets surrounded. Yeah, Classic overextends, and Hero does punish. Massive pickup, massive catch here, catching out every single Stalker. And with that, Hero takes a massive Stalker lead. 15 Stalkers to 3. Ay, ay, ay. Only 3 Stalkers left. Hero, he can keep pushing. Classic is hurting. Yeah, some heavy losses for Classic. He's down in workers as well. Wasn't making any probes. Hero, he has full 3-base saturation. Oh my god. Getting up to full 3-base saturation. Again, Classic, he was cutting worker production. He was that much more committed, that much more all in. And here he'll soon close it out, just waiting for Glaives. Glaives are on the way. For those who are curious, Glaive Adepts are kind of an alternative to Charge Lots, except they don't really scale well into a longer kind of 3 and 4 base saturation. So this does have more of like an expiration date. But herO doesn't intend for the game to last much longer. We're just going massive Glaive Adepts. And we're just gonna send it. And again, Classic, he needs more time to build up his economy, to rebuild his army, to get a 4th base, to take up, like, he's just crippled from earlier. This is more of a kill shot from herO. So herO does move out. Commits, likewise shading on top of the army, catching up all the zealots, and now we just keep pushing. Now we just keep on pushing forward, and it's just a numbers game at this point. herO, he does overwhelm, he snowballs out of control, shading on top of the army, and we're down to a handful of stalkers. What, 8 stalkers left, shading into the mineral lines, more probes going down, and Classic's just being he's just being torn apart. It's being torn apart, cannot keep up. Oof. GG gets called. GG gets called. herO overwhelms, and herO takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. An intense back and forth here. Again, initially, I would say that Classic had the advantage. Classic, he was able to move out across the map. He was able to apply pressure. We saw that herO survived, defended with his immortals. He broke out instead, and then herO got caught. He lost all 3 immortals and the War Prism as well. They were very, very nice catches from Classic, but he had to keep going. He had to keep going from there. In the end, Classic, he eventually was overwhelmed. He got caught in the center. He blinked forward and got surrounded, and it was Classic that got caught with his pants down. GG. They're all down. GG, well played. With that, herO does take the first game, and now we're going to be loading to game number 2. Again, a very chaotic mid-game there from both herO and Classic. We'll see how we adjust loading into that second game. We'll see what we load into. Where are we dropping? Game 2 is going to be on Winter Madness, a much larger map. Larger map. Because it's larger, though, that means there's also more places to proxy. More proxy locations. More shenanigans abound, I'm sure. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing T1. Oh, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the Protoss player himself. We have the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Let us go, as we are going to be opening up. We're going to be settling in. Here we go. From here, we're going to be settling in. And once again, we're setting up our gateways back at home. It's going to be a 2-gate setup initially here. No one is cutting corners. No one is going for a gate, a cyber expand. I do expect to see some greedier builds at some point in this series, whether it's game 3, game 4. At some point, we expect to see them vary things up. Classic does veer off towards the right-hand side with his probe. You have my attention. We'll see if this is real or a fake proxy pylon. Bearing in mind that herO is inside of the main base, and here he is counting pylons. He knows that a pylon is going to be missing, and he's going to know ahead of time that there is a pylon out on the map. But whether it's real or fake, it's going to be up to herO to determine that as well. We can see that Classic is staying on patrol. Based on this proxy location, it looks like either a proxy Stargate or a fake out. It does look a little bit too far away for a proxy robo. Typically, robos are closer to your opponents. But we'll see. For now, we're waiting for the Cyber Core. Waiting for the Cyber Core to finish. Again, we're leaning towards Stargate play, but show us what you got. As we're waiting for the gas. Probe does pull out. We can see herO does scout on the left-hand side. And there it is. There is the Stargate. So proxy Stargate at a classic. Here he's checking the more standard proxy locations here on the left-hand side. And he's looking for the robo. herO knows that there's something out there, and how does he react? Does he go for a safety robo on one base, or does he expand? Does he find him? Ah, he's so close. Look, he's so close. Yeah, here he does scout the right-hand side, but barely does not go far enough. Stalkers, they move on the right-hand side as well. Once again, checking the more standard locations that are closer. And he does go for the robo. Oof, he does get faked out. Going for a robo on one base. This is a very defensive build. It's hyper defensive here. This is a reaction to what should be a proxy robo one base all in. Now, because of the third gateway, herO, he's basically turning this defense into an offense, and he's turning this into his own all-in instead. Does find it. Does confirm. Does confirm the Stargate. Going for the pylon. I believe the Oracle should still pop out in time. It's going to be close, but it will pop. The Oracle does pop out. Pylon will fall. More Stalkers have arrived. And can we focus on the Oracle? Ooh, does get a Stalker. Not bad. Stalker does go down. Remember, Classic, he didn't invest into an expansion. Classic does get the second Stalker. Nice pickoff. Classic overwhelming. But remember, herO has 3 gateways and the robo. herO, he's one base all in. It's going to be delayed because it's from back at home. There's no proxy for herO. But he does catch the army. Yeah, takes down one of the Stalkers. Takes down 2. They trade 2 for 2. Classic back at home, getting a second battery, going for his own defensive robo, his own defensive immortal production. Stargate is depowered, so no defensive void rays or additional oracles. And can Classic hold on? herO, he's getting his own immortal as well. War Prism has arrived. herO, he can always juggle into the main. He's getting a sentry as well. Cheeky moves. Oracle is deflected, and herO has a force field. Does have a force field. Army gets revealed. Classic now knows. You can see Classic rotate. Rotating into the main. And we'll see how we use that force field. Based on the warp ends, looks like we are ideally going to be force fielding either in the immortal or force field at the immortal instead. Can we look him in? He can't. Oh, not yet. Doesn't go for it. Here he respects the force field. Likewise, there's 3 batteries on the low ground. herO drops into the main. Does go for the orbit as well. There's no batteries. Yeah, no batteries in the main base. Boys are being pulled. Guardian shield gets activated. And can herO break through the immortal? Oh my god, clutch juggling. Very clutch juggling. Does maintain that immortal a little bit longer. herO, he's breaking through. Takes down the mineral line. 16 probe kills. Oh my god, the immortal finally goes down. But he wants the prism. He wants him. Yeah, the prism does get within range of the battery. Battery does hold, does survive, and herO's being forced out. Oof, he's being forced out of the main. herO barely does not break through. He does reset the mineral line. Classic down to 11 probes. Oh my god. Classic barely having an economy. And herO, he's just ensuring there is no economy. He's going for the mineral line. Probes are going down. There's barely any to begin with. Still 11 probes left. Does herO just expand? Do we just macro from here? Okay. I mean, Classic is making 2 probes at a time. He at least can. So Classic can recover economically eventually. And herO, he has what, double the probe count. Catching another. Catching another worker. Okay, nice control out of herO. Prism into the main. herO's ready. Oh, we'll beat out a Stalker. And 1 Stalker goes down. Ideally, he wants that War Prism. Prism does get away. Prism does escape. And we're going to calm down and we're going to reset. From here, by the time that herO gets his natural up and running, Classic, I believe, will be caught up in workers. So we're catching up more or less in workers. We do see a Stargate here by herO getting to Phoenix production. Phoenix will help. It's a secure way to shut down the Warp Prism and to lift the Immortals as well. So tech-wise, I do favor herO as he can afford the Stargate and can afford the Phoenix. Shout out to that one probe. Tasing away. Will he kill the next? Will he kill the Stargate eventually? Can he get him? So far the Prism does keep him busy. Twilight Council's on the way, working towards Blink. The Oracle is going to get caught out. Nice catch out of herO. He catches the Oracle. Oof. Another Phoenix on the way. Again, Classic is in trouble here. Tech-wise, I mean. Like, he's still stuck on 2 bases. He's still down in workers. Classic needs something to recover in this game. Like DTs or depth run bys, depth counterattacks. Spikes in. Just getting a scout off. Ooh, herO working towards Glaives. He's going for 2-base play. Hyper aggressive. Claiming his third. Okay, hero's building up. But again, it's going to have a very strong Glaive Adept timing. Throwing down more gateways. Classic has to babysit that Warp Prism. He's got to babysit. Ooh, herO does take an extra hit. Yeah, it does take an extra shot to the face. Claiming his third. Once again, working towards Glaives. We spoke about this in the last game, how Glaive Adepts, they usually don't scale well to a longer game. They lead towards a very strong timing attack. Which is what herO is working towards. As he's building up a very heavy Immortal Adept army. No Stalkers. Or minimal Stalkers. So here he does get in, does bypass the army. 3, 4, 5 probes going down. Nice damage. Phoenixes, they get away. Remember, there's no blink. Remember, Twilight Council's late. Because of the early game, because of lack of economy. Phoenixes, they just fly away. And herO, he's about to move out. Here he comes. herO, he has 5 Immortals. Ay, ay, ay. Here he spots the army. He hasn't scouted the third. If he was fully aware of this, then he would just push. Just waiting for another warp in. And then it'll be go time. Again, there's a very hefty army for herO. Adepts are ideal at tanking. Ideal at tanking. And we just passed by each other. Uh-oh. There we go, he sees. Just what the army. Threads a shade. herO looking for a better angle. Does force field in the army. Blink is now done. Classic does blink away. Classic pulls out. herO giving chase. There will be some defensive batteries. We have 2 batteries on the way here at the natural. Sorry, at the third. We have 3 at the natural. And soon we can just shade. Now, ideally, Classic force fields the ramp and zones away the Immortals. That'd be the ideal. To try to fight with the Immortals not really taking part. Speaking of, force fields catch out a Stalker. Nice force fields. Classic buying more time. Oh. Here it does shade. Does not commit in. Once again, losing 3 more adepts. Sorry, 2, 3, 3. Here we're getting caught up, but he commits. Oh, he commits into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. And the Immortals, they push forward. Yeah, they do move in. Once again, nice force fields though. herO, he cannot push forward. Can't push into the bases. The Adepts, they actually shade behind the army. They go for the Immortals. They go for the sentries. And sentries are going down. No more force fields. herO, he breaks on through. Breaks down the front door. Shuts down the sentries. The Immortals, they can move in. And he overwhelms. herO, he overwhelms the army. There's just not enough here. Can't keep up, not against 5 Immortals. There's too many. Yeah, too many Immortals. Immortal goes down, Stalkers as well. He blinks into the army. Desperation of the classic. Desperation. Oh my god. And with that, herO will take a 2-0 lead. GG. GG, well played, herO. Snowballs out of control, does break through, and will take that lead. Whew. Once again, it was very chaotic early game with herO being terrified about an all-in and just basically just turning his own build into a one-base all-in instead. He was able to punish Classic, catch him out. Classic had a very secure position on the low ground at the natural, but the main base was exposed. The main base was exposed. herO, he found a way in. He was able to cripple the economy. Remember, he killed 16 probes. Classic, he only had 11 workers left at the end of the aggression, and he fell behind. He was down in economy, he was down in army as a result, and behind in tech. He was behind in every aspect. herO just ran with it. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO, he's up at 2-0, and now we have our next game going to be on White Rabbit. herO, he's 1 game away from claiming the series, otherwise Classic can recover and start the comeback. Let's go. I'm hoping for a back and forth here, but the pressure is on Classic. Pressure's on. Yo, shout out to STD Mega, papi. STD Mega. Bienvenidos. My go lights. We'll go cast this week's WardiTV as it's running at the moment. No. Empieza muy tarde. Empieza muy tarde. Too late, papi. Too late. Oh, but here we go. Here we go. We're catching up here with our next game, and spawning in the bottom hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the other South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Let's go. And let's go. The Pro finished killing the Stargate. Yeah. That Pro was an animal, papi. True. Was an animal. As herO does move out early on. Oh my, wait, hello? What's going on? He gets scouted. herO being cheeky, trying to proxy inside of the natural, but Classic does check, does confirm. The boys are being pulled, and this should not get up and running. Or it shouldn't really come to fruition. The boys are on patrol. herO zoned away, forced to cancel. Is a okay. I was gonna say single gate opener. Second gateway is heavily delayed, actually. Disrupted build out of Classic. Interesting. herO going 1 gate. So gate, cyber, expand, greedy build by herO, and a messy build by Classic. But Classic is still going 2 gates, and he is still building up to a more aggressive start. If Classic realizes what's going on, he can 1 base all in. The issue though, late scout. Because of this, because of the early aggression, because of the pylon, it's a later scout by Classic, and herO, does he sneak out with that Nexus? What does he go? I mean, he went for the second gas. Okay. So it looks like Stargate into Nexus, not Nexus first. Seems to be the case. herO, he has the minerals though. Goes into warp gates, and he will get the Nexus. Okay, so gate, cyber, expand. We have hyper greed here out of herO, and Classic does scout, and typically we expect Classic to react with the 1 base all in. That should be the reaction, but there is no proxy setup. No shot Classic plays from behind. herO, he's still scouting with that probe, still checking for a Nexus. Classic, what's the plan? He expands. Okay. He's setting up for the Nexus. And there's some moving out. And the pressure's on herO to recover economically, as he is behind. There's the delayed Nexus. Hallucination confirms. Now herO knows there's no one base all in. Adepts are on the way. Bearing in mind, 2 Adepts can one-shot probes. They can one-shot. Shade's in. Shade is denied. So here we go. And so here we go. It is going to be a Stargate follow-up, of course. Stargate most likely into Oracles to get economic damage done. Classic going for earlier Blink instead. So there's going to be an earlier Blink timing available. Until then, Classic still threatening these Shades. Classic is still behind economically, but he can commit to the Shade and he can threaten that mineral line. Classic has potential. Does spot the probes. He commits. He gets one. He gets one, and he doesn't get 2 force fields. They lock him in. There we go. Second probe goes down. He gets 2 probes for 1 adept. Do we get a second? Does. It does catch a second adept here, so 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Classic setting up for the proxy. How many gateways? 2 back at home. Do we get a third across the map? Looks like we will. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Proxy Dark Shrine. Bold move here by Classic. Bold move. This can kill. This can kill. Now, thankfully for herO, remember, he opened up Oracle. Oh, he's going to throw it away. herO sustaining a lot of hull damage here. Does barely pull out. He goes further in. He's crazy. No, the herO. Oh my god. 4 probes. Gets 4 probes, keeps the Oracle alive, and the Oracle can use Revelation to reveal said DTs if we keep it alive. So there is a form of detection. Dark Shrine is halfway done. We need that Oracle back at home. Without it, DTs can end the game. They can deal critical damage. Remember, there is no Robo. Adept Shades into the mineral line. Nice defense. The Oracle's still across the map. It's still locked down. Dark Shrine is almost done. And herO still has no idea. Oh no. Does he have energy for a recall? He does. Does have energy. Okay, does recall back home. Recalls back home. Does have the DCs, he knows. Yeah, now he sees, now he knows. herO pulls away. The Oracle does land 1 Revelation on 1 DT. Does catch 1, but the other does slip in. And the DT even escapes as well. Oof, waste of Revelation. Do we have another? We do. Okay, another Revelation. Still gets 1, 2, 3 probes. Whew, but that could have been so much worse. That could have been so much worse. The third base is still delayed though. Delays the third, it kills the pylon. There's another Revelation. More DTs are warping in. More Dark Templar. Defensive cannons on the way. And again, because of this, herO should have already had a third base, but now there's no third, and Classic takes the lead. Does take lead in terms of third. Pylon goes down. We'll clean this up. And herO, how many gateways are we on? 4. Okay. He does have at least 4 gateways, so he does have excess gateways for reinforcements to try to push across the map. herO does have the larger army. He does have how many? He has 16 Stalkers to 6 Stalkers of Classic. So far it's been good damage, and Classic does take an economic lead, but can he maintain it? Can he deal with the army that herO has to deal with now? To work with, I should say. herO moves out. He's up by 10 Stalkers. Classic, he needs those force fields. He's warping in. He's hallucinating as well. He needs to. He has to bait out some shots. herO commits in. Getting his own hallucinations as well. Let's go. If they're tanking shots, they're working. And shots are being tanked. Dives on the main army, and herO, he's overwhelming. Yeah, there's just too much here. There's too much here. Back at him, there are cannons. The cannons, they defend. DTs, they do nothing. It was a big risk, a big gamble. More Stalkers being focused down. GG gets called, and herO, he will claim the series 3-0, becoming this week's, or the WardiTV Monday number 80 champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, herO with the 3-0. Impressive performance here by herO. Again, a lot of chaos, a lot of aggression. Here in game number 3, we saw that Classic, he had a really disrupted start, if you remember. He had a late second gateway, he had a late scout across the map. He realized that herO was being greedy, and his response was go for a later expansion into a Dark Shrine. Now, if herO didn't have a Stargate, if he didn't have a Robo, that could have been game-ending damage, but herO did have the Stargate. He had the Oracle across the map, he recalled back home in time, and he had those revelations available. Again, it's a big risk, a big gamble. Basically, Classic was hoping that there was no Stargate, that there was no Robo, that there wouldn't be any detection, and we have seen players like MaxPax, herO, and Classic insta-GG. We've seen them insta-GG and just lose games to DTs and PvP. It happens. Not this time. Not this time. Just a big gamble. Didn't quite pay off. GG, well played. Congratulations. herO does claim the series, and we did see a wide array for herO. Some aggression, some all-in, some 2-base play as well. Game 1 was much more mid-game oriented, surprisingly so. Game 2 was very chaotic as well, knocking Classic down to 11 probes. Always a lot of chaos, always a lot of aggression with these two. I appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Always fun casting herO and Classic face-off. Congratulations. Congratulations to herO as it also claimed the series. And again, a shout out to Classic for making it to the finals and for making a series out of it, or for making work for it and for having a chaotic back and forth regardless. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the night. If you're curious about the rest of our schedule, the rest of our broadcast, again, we do cast the WardiTV Mondays on a weekly basis here. We have the rest of our week's schedule ahead of us. This is last week's schedule, so our schedule is quite similar. For those who don't know, GSL did begin last week, and we were live casting GSL over on Soup. Soup is Africa TV. Africa TV did rebrand as Soup. It is a Korean streaming platform, and GSL can only be live streamed on Soup. So we were casting it live last week, and as you can see here, you can see 4 GSL logos on the schedule. The live streams are on Wednesday and Thursday. The VODs are rebroadcasted on YouTube on Saturday and Sunday. So the VODs are rebroadcasted over the weekend, 48 hours later. It is a restriction. It is a restriction, of course, where we cannot actually rebroadcast the VOD from Soup until 48 hours after the live event. That's why the rebroadcast is over the weekend. Just as a heads up. So again, if you want to watch our live coverage of GSL, it is going to be live over on Soup. Exclamation mark Soup in the chat if you want to get a link to our Soup channel. Otherwise, again, the rebroadcast will be over the weekend. Meanwhile, we also have Tunic Cup. Tunic Cup is going to be this Tuesday, tomorrow. Tomorrow evening is going to be Tunic Cup. Usually Tunic Cups are over the weekend, but what else is over the weekend? RSL. RSL is over the weekend, and we don't want to clash with RSL, so due to RSL taking over the Saturday and Sunday evening time slots, that is why we did decide to reschedule Tunic Cup to Tuesday instead, to make sure we don't clash. We don't clash with RSL or GSL or with Kung Fu Cup or anything else. So we do have that tomorrow in 24 hours time is going to be Tunic Cup. We also have the rebroadcast, or sorry, the replay cast of Biggest Cup tomorrow morning. Bear that in mind. We're also going to be covering that. And also the rest of the week we do have StarCraft Evolution. We have the SCL doubles tournament on Friday. We have the Pondcast on Friday as well. We have Sea Duckling Open over the weekend, and we have some more Euthermal 2v2 circuit over the weekend as well. Bearing in mind we don't cast the Euthermal circuit, but we do actually we do run the event. We run the event, we admin the tournaments, we work behind the scenes on the circuit. Just as a heads up. Otherwise, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Our next broadcast is going to be in around 12 hours time with Pickers Cup number 76. Oh boy. So we'll see you soon. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow in 12 hours, or we'll see you in just under 24 hours with the Tunic Cup. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis, so you can help us grow our Sparkling Tunic Cup even further. Tunic Cup is kind of like the WardiTV Monday or Biggest Cup or the Kung Fu Cup or KSL. It's an open tournament. It's actually the longest running open tournament out there. Tunic Cup has been running longer than any other open tournaments in the current ecosystem of StarCraft 2. So if you want to support us, you can do so via the Patreon, as all that money goes towards growing the prize pool of our tournaments. So you can help us out there. Otherwise, you can also support us by following us on all the socials. Again, Soup for GSL live coverage, YouTube for all the VOD content, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram to be notified when we go live, Discord as well, also to be notified and interact outside of just the game. outside of just the cast. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for the support. I'm gonna go get some food. I'm starving. It's 10 p.m. I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna go get some dinner. I'm gonna go look after my pet bunnies, and we'll be back in 12 hours with Pegasus Cup. Until then, thanks for watching. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao.